So this is a non-invasive wearable light technology. I don't need the sun. I don't need a laser or an infrared sauna or red light pads or, red light therapy bed like you see. But I just need to put it on my body. Light has been around obviously since the dawn of time. So we know that light has been used for healing purposes forever. And so this is a way to really harness our body's own light and utilize that to help the body get back into balance or just keep the body in balance. This is the most powerful tool I've ever seen. The
Yeah.
reason why is because it's non-invasive. There are no contraindications, no side effects, no interactions, and it's accessible to anyone and everyone. We are literally targeting trillions of cells, and it's happening at the speed of light, like instantaneously. That chain reaction inside of the body is bounce, 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 right? Bringing the body into homeostasis.
So, hi everyone, Catherine here, and I'm so excited to share this video with you because it's all about a breakthrough that I believe is massive for natural health and recovery. I just recorded an amazing conversation diving into the science behind LifeWave patches, non-transdermal, light-activated technology that gently signal your own body to produce peptides that support regeneration, resilience, and energy without adding anything to the body. So these peptides really take your recovery to the next level wellness and all through the power of our own light. And then in synchronicity, I came across a powerful video that I'll link below from Dr. Josh Axe, and it all clicked. When you see people like RFK Jr. and Dr. Axe sharing this kind of truth, balancing cutting edge science with our body's innate ability to heal, you know we're onto something big. In today's toxic, fast paced world, we need tools that work with the body, not against it, and this is one of them. So please do watch the full video. It might help you or someone you love, and if it resonates, check out all the links in the description box below to learn more. And of course, I'd really love to see your thoughts, questions in the comments box below, so let me know and we can have a chat. And please keep spreading the truth about what's possible, because when we trust the body and support it naturally, everything changes. So if that's something you're passionate about, please take just a minute to hit the like button to this video, press the subscribe, because I am all about sharing solutions that are going to help all of us. Thank you for watching. Right, I am so looking forward to this discussion because every chat I have with my guest, I learn so much and really uplift my health to the next level. And today we're going to be talking about peptides, regeneration, and next level wellness, of course, all naturally. We're going to be looking at whether the body can really activate its own peptides to support healing, balance, and repair using just light. And there's no one better to explain this to us than the amazing Dr. Stacy Hullwigger, a returning guest. Now, Dr. Stacy has been helping people using regenerative medicine to change people's lives for nearly 20 years. She's a teacher, a network marketer, public speaker, author, doctor, and she's got a PhD in quantum integrative medicine and a PhD in functional medicine. And today we're going to be talking about this cutting edge wellness innovation design to really naturally activate our body's own healing and regenerative processes. But Dr. Stacy, I'm just going to give a brief medical disclaimer before we dive in. So please note that neither myself, Dr. Stacy, or LifeWave are diagnosing, treating, or curing any medical conditions. The information shared in this video is for educational purposes only, and always consult your chosen medical practitioner or healthcare provider before making any changes or making any or starting any new product. So we've got that out of the way, Dr. Stacy. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Catherine. Thank you for having me back.
Oh, I absolutely love it. Now, we really wanted to talk today about peptides and really what these wonder patches are doing on our skin. Now, we've got a whole playlist where we dive deep into this, but for new people, can you please just explain what are these patches doing that I'm wearing so nicely here on my neck?
So this is a non-transdermal patch, Catherine, and that means that there's nothing entering the body when you put the patch onto the skin. So no chemical, no medicine, no herb, no nutrient, nothing enters through the skin into the body except a wavelength of light. This is a form of light therapy or light technology, and this works with our body's own heat or light that we emit. So when I put this patch on, inside of that white part is a crystal lattice structure, and that structure is reflective. And so when I put this on, my body's heat is communicating or interacting with the patch and reflecting a very specific wavelength of light into my body. So again, no chemicals, medicines, nothing invasive. It's just a wavelength of light that's entering my body from the patch.
I love it. And I think certainly all our listeners, most people or a lot of people are very well aware now that we want to be working with natural solutions that work in harmony with our body's amazing powers of regeneration and repair. So when we're talking about peptides, could you just explain to us what is a peptide and why do we need to know about it? How is that so important to our healing or basically health journey?
Absolutely. So peptides are just chains of proteins, amino acids. They are the building blocks of your body. You have thousands of them in your body that do so many different things. And so our technology will target a specific peptide, depending on what patch it is. But for purposes of simplicity, let's talk about X39. And so when we elevate GHKCU with X39 with that wavelength of light, that peptide is known as the fountain of youth. So most people know about that from their estheticians for the lines, the wrinkles, the spots, the sagginess. Anti-aging on the outside is GHK, obviously anti-aging on the inside or reverse aging. So peptides help your body to stay into balance, and the majority of them actually decline in their functionality as we age. And so being able to keep those peptides active and working, there's a chain reaction inside of the body when a peptide is elevated. And so it helps bring things into balance at the cellular level. And of course, then that impacts our organs and our tissues in our body. It's very interconnected and related. So peptides they're really all the rage now. The
Yeah.
last couple years, I would say, really, you're hearing about it in the athlete sector. They're injecting peptides. And like I said, estheticians use it in creams and lotions. We don't need to use any exogenous or outside source. We're actually elevating our own peptides. So that means it's non-invasive. There's no shots, no injections, no needles entering the body, no creams. Who knows what else is put in those creams? Hopefully nothing harmful, but you
Yeah.
never know. This is just telling the body to do what it did when it was younger.
I love it. And I think so many of us have got so much better educated over the last few years of really understanding that actually there's so many hidden things that are in things we put on or into our body that we don't necessarily want there. So this to me is the ultimate taking your power back, because we've got all these abilities. These beautiful bodies have got the ability in there, but there's so much in our environment that pushes us off balance. And that all we need to do is give it the right tools to actually say, get back to doing what you're meant to be doing. So you've already started mentioning about this is an X39 that I'm wearing at the moment, and most people know of this as sort of almost like the LifeWave flagship product. Copper peptides, you've just explained how important those are. Give us a couple of other examples for some of the other patches in the range, Dr. Stacy,
Okay.
that activate some other peptides.
Okay, well, you're probably familiar with glutathione. Glutathione is the master antioxidant detox or immune booster. People may think it's a vitamin. It's actually a tripeptide. And your liver makes its own glutathione, but again, that usually declines as we age. And so when you use our glutathione patch, it looks the same. It doesn't put glutathione in your body, but it's a wavelength of light that targets your own glutathione, elevating that tripeptide in the body. And so glutathione we call it liquid gold for your joints. So it's amazing for that. And like I said, your immune system and detoxification. Carnosine is another really big antioxidant. It's #1 in anti-aging functional medicine. And carnosine is a dipeptide. So when you put on the carnosine patch, it's not putting carnosine in your body, it's putting a wavelength of light that seeks out that carnosine dipeptide and elevates it. And carnosine is so powerful for the brain, for the heart, for the organs, especially the pancreas, keeping your pancreas functioning correctly. We see all the GLP-1 antagonists now. Everybody's out there doing the shots and stuff with all these horrible side effects for a lot of people. And all we need to do is really balance our own glycation process, and carnosine does that effortlessly. So being able to do something that's non-invasive, no harmful, no side effects, no worries. I love Eon.
Oh,
Eon
I
is,
love Eon.
I know,
Eon.
it's
Yeah.
just powerful to bring your nervous system into balance, reduce inflammation. So it's elevating a different peptide in our liver, upregulating our SOD, which is the superoxide dismutase. It's the body's ability to downregulate inflammation and bring your nervous system into balance. X49, which is the daughter patch, to the X39, it elevates AHKCU. A stands for the alanine, the beta alanine. So think building lean muscle mass, bone density, reducing body fat. It's huge for our athletes, oxygenation, circulation. Everyone, honestly, as we age, we have less muscle mass and less bone density, neurological, cardiovascular benefits as well, too. So the last one I'll say would be the aloe vera. Aloe vera activates the epithalamin peptide, which is in the pineal gland. And so we promote aloe vera to be like the skin, all the anti-aging for the skin, but it's really reducing oxidative and inflammatory stress on the inside. We know that epithalamin is responsible for increasing telomerase, which has to do with the impact on our telomeres. So that's a huge benefit as well, too, as the skin, of course. But we know aging is an inside job. And so when you use aloe vera, it's incredible. Totally different peptides. So different patches activate and elevate different peptides in the body.
Oh, I absolutely love it. And, I want to just make sure if everyone's listening, you don't need to remember all this because basically there'll be a link below. So if people want to discuss their specific needs with myself or Dr. Stacy, there'll be a link below where you can do that. One of the things I really want to ask about is why is it so important that people really look at keep it at their body's ability to sort of repair and regenerate before they notice the problems?
I wish everyone would. We call that prevention. So when you are focused on prevention, meaning your diet, your lifestyle choices, right? All of those things are priority for you. We call that self-care a lot of times. But when those things are priority, then when you are exposed to different toxins, environmental toxins, or maybe there is a stress thing happen in your life, a death or a job or change or, divorce, something like that, your body's able to cope with the immediate stress or toxin, and it won't throw you into what we call like a crisis, right? Situation to where your body shuts down, right? People, oh, I can't get out of bed. Everything just stopped. The world just came to an end. And so keeping yourself in that state where you are taking care of your health, using holistic modalities to stay in balance. No one's perfect, right? We're all doing the best we can, but we're exposed to a lot today that we weren't, Catherine, when we were kids. And so there, you really got to be on your A game, or otherwise you can fall right off that track really quickly. If you're in a car accident.
Yeah.
It happens to people when they're in, or they fall off a horse, or, they have some type of injury that wasn't expected and their whole body just shuts down, or they don't recover like they could or should recover. And so staying on top of your health and making sure that it's a priority now before something serious happens. You can have all the problems in the world, and if you have a health problem, you have one problem, and that's your health, right? When you're in a crisis situation with your health, that is your only thing that you can focus on. And we also know when people are in pain, they don't sleep well.
Absolutely.
Their mental faculties are not sharp. they're not happy people. They hurt and they're not sleeping and their brain's not functioning. And so they're not living their best lives. And so being proactive and focusing on prevention, or if you're not in balance right now, getting yourself there, make that a priority and then stay there, do the things to stay there. So you do get to enjoy the time here because you know as well as I do, Catherine, nobody has tomorrow promised. And so if you
Yeah.
want to really focus on living the best quality of life every single day, you have to make yourself a priority. You can't take care of anybody else if you can't take care of yourself first.
It's so important, and I think so many of us unfortunately don't take action until we have got something so serious. And if that's for you, don't worry about it because our bodies are amazing. You just might need that extra support. I just wanted to ask for people because I know we get this every single time. So many people will say, how can possibly, everyone's heard of light therapy. I think
Mhm.
most people have had some experience of light therapy. But people don't really understand how putting this patch anywhere on your skin, and there's specific guidance as well for people that want it on specific points they can put it. But could you just briefly explain to people how this is actually working to reflect our light back?
Absolutely. So David Schmidt is the inventor of the technology. And inside, these are two polymer shells. One is sticky and one is smooth. That little white cloth disc has embedded in it a lattice structure, and it's called a solution of chiral stereoisomers. Now, chiral means reflective like a mirror, and stereoisomers are molecules that form together in a very specific pattern. And so the stereoisomers that are in our patches, they're each different depending on the patch, but they're a solution of organic amino acids, oxygen, sugars, and water. Now, not stuff from your kitchen, not a pre-workout, not sugar that you'd put on your coffee or whatever, but molecules, right? These stereoisomers, and they form a lattice structure. And so that is embedded in this patch. Now, obviously, we have patents. David holds, I just found out, right at 200 patents
Wow.
now. But we have a patent on this patch, on all of our patches, that states that when you put the patch on, this patch interacts with our body's heat. It's actually a biophotonic exchange of information. The light that's coming off of our body and the light that is that's the lattice that's in the structure, right inside of that is reflecting back to us in a specific wavelength. So this biophotonic exchange of information, light communicating with light, produces a specific wavelength of light that enters my body. That wavelength of light then immediately elevates a peptide. Again, this is what our patent says for this patch. We elevate a very specific peptide with a wavelength of light. So let me give you an example. If you go outside in the sun, and you can tell I love the sun, I live in Florida, and I know that when I go out in the sun, I go out early in the morning. I want that early morning sunlight, right? That circadian rhythm resetter, and all the benefits in the brain and in the eyes. And of course, I like to go out later in the afternoon and evening as well too. I want all of the different wavelengths of light. But if I go out in the sun, I know that there's a specific wavelength of light that will travel and hit my skin. I don't see or feel it, but it goes right into my body and it's going to elevate my melanin, which gives me the dark color to my skin. And it's going to elevate my vitamin D, which is a hormone that's responsible for so many things in the body, but to keep me healthy and young and youthful and cancer free, and all the things. So I know that wavelengths of light that I do not see or feel enter my body through my skin and create change. We call that photobiomodulation. So photo is light, bio is body, and modulation is change. So this is a non-invasive, wearable light technology. I don't need the sun. I don't need a laser or an infrared sauna or red light pads or, red light therapy bed like you see. But I just need to put it on my body. It doesn't have to be seen. It can be over here underneath my clothing because my body emits heat everywhere.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting next to me right now, Catherine, you would feel my body's heat and I would feel your body's heat. That comes off of our body about 2 to 4 inches. So it doesn't matter if you put it on the side of your neck, on the back of your hand, wherever. It does not matter. The key is to put it on in the morning when you get up. If you're on the X39 using that, leave it on 12 hours. That time it's going to activate, elevate, and mobilize those specific peptides and cells in your body. And then we're going to take that off and throw it away, give the body some time to repair and regenerate, and do it again the next day. So it's a wavelength of light. And again, it's proven, patented. It's light has been around obviously since the dawn of time. So we know that light has been used for healing purposes forever. And so this is a way to really harness our body's own light and utilize that to help the body get back into balance or just keep the body in balance. I don't have anything wrong with me health-wise, so I'm using this technology for prevention, vitality, and longevity, and also reverse aging, which has been proven again through blood work, right? We can monitor our biological age and say, where am I? Where is my organ function, my cellular function? What's my brain doing? What's my heart doing? We can see all of those metrics.
I love it. And I know that you've been working with this technology for quite a while and you've seen some miraculous results. Obviously, we can't make any medical claims, but as a functional medicine practitioner, how important is it to you to have this technology in your toolkit for your patients?
Well, like you said, Catherine, in your toolkit, this does not replace proper nutrition, hydration, sleep, movement, prayer, meditation, breath work. Like, it doesn't replace the foundational things that you should be doing on a daily basis to take care of yourself. As a tool in your toolkit, I have seen over my 20 plus years in this industry of health and wellness deeply, not just living my life and doing all the things, but actually practicing. This is the most powerful tool I've ever seen.
Yeah.
The reason why is because it's non-invasive. There are no contraindications, no side effects, no interactions, and it's accessible to anyone and everyone. I don't have to worry about swallowing something, absorbing it, digesting it, assimilating it, hoping that it doesn't interact with something else that I'm doing, or that my gut is even healthy enough to deal with it and help myself, right? Do what I want it to do. I know we've got liposomals, of course, we've got homeopathic remedies, there's IV therapies, you have to be careful with contraindications. You have to be careful, anytime you enter the body, there's always a potential side effect or risk. So, you look at, some people just won't do it. And so using this is just so simple. I just have to put it on and take it off 12 hours later. Stay hydrated, of course, do all your things, but it works in conjunction with anything and everything else you're doing. So when I look at, for example, people that are already into the holistic world and they're taking supplements or they're drinking tinctures or teas or whatever it may be, this improves the efficacy of what they're doing by 20 to 30%. We are literally targeting trillions of cells, and it's happening at the speed of light, like instantaneously. That chain reaction inside of the body is bounce, 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 right? Bringing the body into homeostasis. And so we see that the other things that people are doing, and maybe they're not doing anything, right? Maybe they're not on any holistic regimen at all. And they're seeking, to get away from allopathic medicine. They're seeking something else. And maybe they don't have good lifestyle choices, or their food choices have not been optimal. And so what happens is, because of this still works no matter what, when you put it on, we start to see people feeling better, right? They're reducing their pain, they're sleeping better, their mental faculties are functioning much more like they did when they were younger. So they're making better choices. They want healthier foods. When your body's in balance, you don't crave those things. When you have movement and exercise, you can't be depressed and exercise at the same time, right? It just doesn't work that way. And so movement, when you feel like moving, when you have the ability, flexibility, and mobility to do that, then your brain changes, and it's just a beautiful cascade effect of what happens when you use this technology in conjunction with that healthy diet and lifestyle.
I absolutely love it. Thank you so much. I told you, everyone, you would learn a lot. You can re-listen to this as many times as you like. I've also got a playlist of our other interviews that I've done with Dr. Stacy, where we've dived deep into some other topics. So check out that below. And if you want more information, there's a link below. Reach out. I'm really happy to have a free call with you and see which would suit your needs best. And Dr. Stacy, thank you so much for your time. Is there anything else you want to leave people with?
No, thank you, Catherine. I would tell everybody, if this is something new to you, you've never heard of this before, I understand. I hadn't heard of it 4 years ago either. Just use this as a divine appointment. This is a divine meeting for you to see this video, to watch this. Reach out to Catherine. This technology can really, really impact your life in a positive way. You've just got to give it a shot, right? And you've got to stay consistent with it. We know that change happens over time. So keep in mind that this is not a quick fix. This is not, 30 days and I'm going to be good to go. 30 years of problems are gone. So know that healing is a journey, okay? There's no straight line to healing, just like there's no straight line to success. There's going to be some ups and downs, but you'll come out on the other side of this and you will feel better than you've probably felt in 20, 30, 40, even 50 years, depending on how old you are. But the longer you use this technology, because peptides are so powerful, they will compound, and they compound in that direction of that positive beneficial change inside of your body. And that's what you want. We're all just seeking to spend time with our family and our loved ones and our friends and have the best quality of life while we do. No one's standing up saying, I want to hurt, I don't want to sleep, and I want to be grouchy and mean and feel miserable and just want to go off this planet. And everybody wants to have the best quality of life, and this technology will give you that if you'll stay with it.
I completely agree. Thank you so much. And the links, Dr. Stacy has got an amazing YouTube channel, and the link to that will be below. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you so much for taking the time to listen.